The thing about depression is that we think that everybody who is depressed should be crying and should be sad. Depression can present as excessive joy.
Average time it takes for a Ghanaian woman to notice symptoms for cervical cancer up until she sees her doctor is 8 months.
Turn around. Turning point. Yeah. He's a turn around. Hello and welcome to Springboard, your virtual university. My name is Albert Ocran. Welcoming you to Ghana's foremost developmental program and that place where the greatest minds in the world converge. A happy new year to every one of you joining us all across the world, watching us, listening to us, participating in this broadcast. We thank God for your lives and say, this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We welcome you to this brand new year on behalf of the Springboard Roadshow Foundation, the organizers of this broadcast, and our partners. Let me start with MTN Ghana and then the Enterprise Group and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Let me salute our media partners, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the Springboard channel on YouTube, and the graphic group of newspapers. Well, today we talk about the components of our brand new year and how we can start the year right. Our series will be called Spring Right. We would have called it Springboard, but that would have given us too many springboards to deal with. So just to give it a variation, we'll call this series Spring Right and pick out the key components we need to work with as we start the year right. And rightly so, we'll start with our health. Our health tends to be overlooked, but they say your health is your wealth. And so we don't want to wait until things go southward and then suddenly spring up and give it our undivided attention. My guests for today will help us understand the various components of our health and why it is important that we give the right attention to it. Helping us with this discussion today, I have Dr. Sompa Otabil-Nelson, a primary healthcare or family healthcare physician. Is it correct?
Yes.
Family medicine specialist from Diana Gill Medical Clinic at Achimota Gulf Hills. Sompa, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Albert.
And thanks for making time to be here.
Thank you for inviting me. It's good to
Finally.
Finally.
Yes. And then I have a regular in the house, our clinical psychologist, Lynda Dede Ahulu. Lynda, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How's the year rolling out so far?
So far, so very good. We are excited that we've been able to cross over. So congratulations to everybody who has made it.
It's a blessing, isn't it?
It is, indeed.
So, but let's start with you. Lynda says we've crossed over, so we are here.
Yes.
We normally will plan big time for our economic agenda, financial, plan for marriage issues, set wedding dates, you know what I'm saying? And then all other areas of our lives. But somehow, when it comes to health, it would seem that it's almost an afterthought. Should we have a plan for our health as we plan for the rest of our lives?
Yes, planning for your health is very important because if you don't have good health, then you can't do the things that you have planned to do for your life. I think that we have a habit as busy individuals, but even in our culture, to wait until we are sick and then we realize that, oh my goodness, I have to do something. But taking steps to prevent illness, to prevent disability is very, very important, not just for the year, but just for the longevity of your entire life.
Why do you find that it's not just part of our mental construct? Is it because we think it's not important or because we think it's not urgent? Why do we always ignore our health until it's really serious and they become rushing and putting pressure on everyone?
I say that especially for young people, we have this sense of immortality. We feel like nothing can happen to us. And so a lot of times we do a lot of things because we just feel like it can't happen. I think that also cost of healthcare can also play a very huge role. When you are in a healthcare system that doesn't have maybe a very fully structured insurance system and things where people can just go when they need to without the additional cost. When you have when you're paying for service all the time, it can be very difficult. And so sometimes people just don't want to go because I don't have the money. Also the time. A lot of times people have to take a very huge chunk of their day just to go sit at the doctor's office, wait for however long and all of that, just to go and do a physical or go and do a wellness. So I'll just wait until I'm sick and then I'll go. And I think that plays a very huge role as well.
I don't know about you, but anytime I finish my medical, I feel very empowered. I feel like I've done something right. Yes. The question is, why does it take so long to go and do it? When you finish it, you feel really good.
Yeah. And so I think that we have to take our health very seriously. We wait too long. And I think that is a struggle. Taking a few steps, not even just with your physical, but just decisions that you make about your life to take the right steps for your health is very important.
And you say the origin is because we feel sometimes immortal.
We feel immortal.
Yeah, that we will live forever. Then when it doesn't happen, we say gone too soon.
Yes, exactly.
Let me go to you, Lynda. In December, I asked my customer, just post things on Facebook sometimes just to get the perception of different people. And when I was posting this, I knew I would get different reactions from different demographics. I posted, what are the 3 biggest blessings in life? And the relatively younger population posted life stroke salvation, wealth, and relationships, which I thought was fantastic. But the older people posted long life, stroke salvation, but they added the word long. Then they also talked about good health. That was very common among all the older people. And then they added peace of mind. Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Why?
As people age, priorities change. So you've lived your life, you've made all your mistakes, you've learned your lessons. It gets to a point where you are more focused. So looking for peace of mind is essential. When people grow up, there's a stage where people have to deal with despair, especially for the elderly. Were they able to accomplish their dreams? Have they achieved what they were looking for in life? When people feel that they have, they are excited about how far they've come. But there's also despair where people feel that I haven't lived my life fully. That does not come with peace of mind because you're always feeling that there's something that you needed to accomplish that you haven't. So I'm not surprised that the older generation is looking for peace of mind.
Let me stay with generational differences in the demographics and how perceptions are. During the COVID, one of the stories that really touched me was about this very wealthy person who found himself struggling with life because of COVID. And when he was asked that he would need oxygen, and he was told how much, routinely told how much it would cost, he started crying. And when he was crying, they asked him whether he couldn't afford it. He says, no, I can afford it several times over. But it's a sudden awareness that what we take for granted as a gift from God, it would cost so much if we had to pay for it. He says it broke him. As a psychologist, how do you relate to that sudden awareness that people have about what we take for granted?
We take a lot of things for granted. So she mentioned how important is it for us to prioritize our health. You are not truly healthy unless you are psychologically, physically, and socially healthy. And that's even the definition that World Health Organization gives. So many people focus more on, I'm not having a headache, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm fine, but they are struggling with their relationships, they are struggling with interacting with people, they are struggling with confidence, their ability to feel that they are also worth it, among others. And people are also struggling with dealing with the happenstances in their lives, circumstances that they are finding themselves in. People are struggling to deal with them. And sometimes you don't feel that you have the natural ability to handle everything that you're going through. There's a concept called resilience. Resilience is a person's ability to be able to bounce back after they've gone through so many things. So many people realize that they get to the point in their lives, they don't feel that they have either accomplished what they should, or they are just struggling with dealing with whatever it is that they are going through currently. And prioritizing our mental health in that area is very important. What is our mental health? Let's talk about it. Our ability to think, to feel, and to act in ways that make our lives easy or make our lives simple, make us able to maneuver through the various situations that happen in our lives. So until you are able to do that, even though you might not have any mental health condition, we are not saying that you are depressed or you are anxious or you are not suffering with any substance abuse disorder or you are not schizophrenic or all of that. The little things that we ignore, the daily interactions with people, the daily interactions with our environment is very important in ascertaining if we are mentally healthy or not.
When I come back to you, I'm going to ask you the top 5 things that people report to the clinic with that if you see them, they look okay, but they're not okay.
Yes.
Because until we practicalize it, if I may use that word, it remains abstract in the minds of people. But you have the data. You see the people, so you know that they come.
I know.
Yes. So Sompa, the last time I was doing my medical, my doctor said to me, in the practice, in the jurisdiction that he was in before he relocated, the hospital just sends you a week to your birthday, a list of tests that you should do. It's their birthday gift to you. They send you a list. You have birthday in advance, but please do this, do that, and they just send you the labs you're supposed to do. And I loved. But I found it very creative. How do we use some of these skills that we use for planning our finances, our lives? I'll invest this amount of money a month. I will do this. How do we use some of these everyday skills to organize our health and our choices, not just for medical, but all our choices to make us more healthy?
I think that it starts with where you put your money, where your value is, right? So if your value is in your health, then you're going to start with planning for it as much as you plan for your finances or for anything else. It's good you mentioned the reminders because that is the essence of primary health care. And that is the essence of preventive wellness. One of the things that we do in our clinic is that on your birthday, you will get a reminder because you have to have people that are interested in proactively helping to improve your health. A lot as humans or as regular human beings, we have so many things going on. And so even trying to find the right person that can help you to connect you and help to manage your health is very, very important. But I think it also starts with your decision. You have to decide, and you may not have all the answers, whether it is with doing research, whether it is with finding the right healthcare provider that can help you to start with a baseline, right? And she mentioned your health is more than just your physical being. 60% of what I deal with in primary healthcare is mental health. Because if people are not mentally well, they are not physically well. And a lot of times you have people that will come with physical manifestations, and a lot of it is mental. Is because they have anxiety. So they're having abdominal pain and they are vomiting and they have a headache and they have migraines and they have all of those things. And so realizing that a human being is more than just what we physically see is very important. We are made of our spirit, soul, and body. 2/3 of who we are is unseen, right? 2/3 of who we are is our mental and emotional capacity. And when we ignore that, it really starts to play a very huge role in our physical existence as well. But then I think that a lot of it is also your intention to do that, your intention to decide that this is what I want to do. I think that we take a lot of the cliche things for granted when we say eat healthy, exercise, and all of those things. And we take it for granted. But the thing is that when you look at statistics and they say that the average age for a heart attack used to be in the 60s, and now people in their 40s and having a heart attack. It's because of the decisions that we are making now, because all of these are compounded decisions. And when we start making those decisions, you may not see it now, but you have to realize that you're investing into the bank of your health. And slowly those things are going to eventually pay off.
So but let me say with you, your last point was about people getting lifestyle related diseases earlier than they used to. But I thought that generally the mortality, the life expectancy, has gone up. Like people are living longer than they used to. So are you saying that we are living longer, but also the quality of health has?
Yes, life expectancy has improved because of all the intervention measures that we have now to prolong health.
Okay.
At first, if someone had a heart attack, they would die, right? Now you can do surgery, you can do a cardiac catheter and prolong their life. If somebody has an infection, appendicitis, you can have surgery. At first, they'll just die from that. So the reason why life expectancy has increased is not because people are improving their health and their lifestyle choices, but it's because our interventions have improved. And we have to, that is very, very important because, of course, God forbid something happens to us. You want to make sure that you're in a place that has the ability to be able to do that. But there are also a lot of things that you can do to prevent health. Number one cause of mortality among Ghanaians is cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, kidney disease. And these are things that are preventable. 99% of it is preventable.
Off the cuff, 3 things that randomly anybody listening can do that will, in a certain sense or way, minimize these 3 things that you mentioned.
The diet.
Diet.
Our diet has to change. Majority of Ghanaians eat high salt, high carb, high fat foods. And as much as we take it for granted, it's very important. I think that a lot of us live to eat. We just love to eat for fun. Eating is, we surround ourselves with food. Everything
I wish those listening on radio could see the hand gestures. Because on TV you can see it, but the hand gestures very provocative. They live to eat, and the way you put your hand, it's like you're even drawing the food.
We live to eat. We live to eat too much, and I think that I'm sure a lot of people will say all kinds of things, but it's true. We have a culture of food. There's always food, and the kinds of foods that we eat are not healthy. We don't give ourselves good fuel. I always tell people good fuel is food that you eat that gives you energy. Food is supposed to give you fuel, right? So if you eat food and you sleep, it's bad fuel. So there are certain things that we eat. All of us know. I don't want to mention it so that there's a attack toward me. But all of us know that there are certain foods that we eat. The moment you eat, you're out.
So high carb.
So
high salt,
high fat.
High fat. These 3 are the warnings.
These are
so first is diet. Second thing?
Exercise.
Right.
Exercise. Exercise doesn't necessarily mean going to the gym to do exercise, but doing a certain kind of activity that makes you work up your heart rate and makes you work up a sweat. According to the Heart Association, World Health Organization, 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week is what you need to improve your heart. That is speed walking up and down the stairs, doing a little bit of light jogging. Anything that you do, it's not taking a stroll. Because a lot of times I'll ask just, I exercise, I walk every day, but then it's a light stroll. The heart is not pumping faster. You have to get your heart to move because that is how you strengthen your heart. And sleep. Getting a good amount of sleep. I say this and I'm a culprit.
What's the good amount?
Average for an adult is about 6 to 8 hours. Most adults don't get. Sometimes I've struggled to even get 5 hours of sleep. I mean, as I'm saying it now, I'm trying to remember when was the last time I got 6 to 8 because I'm married, I have 3 kids, I have a business, you're doing all of these things. By the time I realize time is going to have to wake up in the morning, do other stuff. But then there's a lot of studies that has linked having a good amount of sleep to increasing your longevity. Because when you sleep, your body rests, your brain needs to rest, your heart needs to rest, your organs need to rest. When you don't get enough sleep, they don't rest. And so you're overworking a machine that eventually will break down if it doesn't get to rest.
Welcome to the year 2026. 3 things, prescriptions from Dr. Sompa Otabil-Nelson. You didn't go to Diana Gill, but she has come to you on the wings of radio and television to just give you 3 prescriptions that no matter who you are, it will help you. I don't say I've not been examined and there's been no diagnostic work. It's just 3 simple prescriptions. Eat well, exercise, and sleep well. Yes. As you reflect on this, I cross over to Lynda. 5 conditions that people come to see their favorite psychologist with, that you will say, this one, typically, they look fine, but they're not fine. Is broken heart one of them?
Yes. Broken heart will be like the third.
Let's start with the first.
The first will be adjustment. So adjusting to new environments, new work situations, moving to a new place, or having to adapt to different situations in our lives. So, for example, the loss of a relationship, the loss of friendship, struggling with work, dealing with their bosses, among others. And especially when we have times when staff come in, and it's usually because they are, overwhelmed by their work. They've had an encounter with a certain, situation that they were overwhelmed by.
And it's so bad that they need
And
to
it's
see.
so bad that they need help. And sometimes it's not even measuring the degree. We are not saying that, okay, so on a spectrum, sometimes people are more affected by the things that happen to them than others, right? So we have people who are a bit more resilient than others based on various factors, upbringing, ability to adapt, among other things. So adjustment will be the
Number
first.
one. Number two.
The second is depression. The thing about depression is that we think that everybody who is depressed should be crying and should be sad. Depression can present as excessive joy.
Really?
Yes.
Now you're making me begin to look around this.
Yes, yes.
Serious?
Especially, there's usually when people have decided to end it all, they are very joyous. So it's very difficult to determine when people are suicidal sometimes. Because as soon as they take the decision, they feel joyous. They feel like they're about to accomplish something that is worthwhile. Yes. So you would usually see that all of a sudden, even though somebody wasn't really okay, they were dealing with, all of a sudden, they are happy, they are posting on social media, life is what you make it. Like, it's all of a sudden, if they are close people in this person's, social circle, it's a time to be observant. Because sometimes that's the call. It's a cry for help. And immediately, the next thing we are told that.
Are we very oblivious or insensitive to these things?
Yes, I think as a society, we want to see the worst before we act. And it's the same with our health. We want to be very sick and we cannot walk or move before we think that let's go and see the doctor. By that time, it will be late.
So
we are not proactive people, naturally.
Let's take the 5 and then we take a break and come back.
So
the third one, you have given it to broken heart already.
Yes.
But why do people get broken hearts? Lynda.
People get broken hearts because we don't manage expectations in relationships, right? So sometimes, and even before, a relationship goes through many stages, right? So the first encounter is bonding, where there's high dopamine levels, a person is excited,
that's right,
among other things. Then we have, when you eventually fall in love, we have oxytocin. So the love hormone, where, you want to see the person all the time. So there's a lot that goes on at the neurochemical level. By the time the person has formed all these neural connections and then the relationship breaks, it feels like a major loss and the person has to deal with grief. So usually broken hearts is a form of grief where people are grieving something they've lost. So they'll go through the depression, they'll go through denial at first. There are many people, as soon as they said their heart is broken, they are denying it. No, he can't do this to me. It cannot be me for a while, right? Before we now bargain, okay, what is it that I can do? And then there are people who are forceful about it. They are going to stand in front of the person's door, knock, try to contact everybody that they know, try to make amends among others. And then they go into depression, where they are really sad if you're not careful. That's the time where many people do take their lives, where students have taken their lives because their relationship was broken, So it's a big deal. Depression is a big deal. It doesn't always present the way that we think it should. So if we are very stereotypical about how depression should present, we'll miss a lot.
So the men, broken hearted, the men suffer it more than women, or that, you know?
Well, the percentage is more for women because women are more expressive of our emotions than men. But the effect on men is also high because
They report it later.
yes, it's usually some are not reported at all.
Yeah.
Yes, because we have a societal perception where a man has to be strong. Men do not cry. So even though they are going through a lot, it's difficult for a man to express how they really feel.
I was at a conference recently that was dealing with business executives, and my friend did organize a conference called the True Life Conference. It was a beautiful experience. Everyone was talking about the reality of Charlie. I cry, and it was very free. Look, I mean, the person organizing the conference herself went upstage, and when she saw the big crowd that was there, she just broke down crying. And I just climbed up the stage and put my hand around her. It was just very nice. Very nice. Why do we make? Why do we create a very fake society sometimes?
Yes, societal expectations.
Of what?
Perfection.
Yes. Where is it from?
Perfection. I mean, we live in a society where people are supposed to put up a front as though everything is okay,
but
even
it's not.
when it is not. You know, so that affects many people, and you have to deal with it. If the person is bold or strong enough to even walk to the hospital, and sometimes you have people sit in front of their medical practitioner and say, you know what, today I'm here because I'm depressed. I don't know how to maneuver this and that.
And
you know,
and you open up to a friend and they say, what are you saying?
Yes,
and they make it even
the
worse.
person you talk to when you're going through difficulty is important. It matters very much.
Very often they talk to the first person that they feel close to, who does not understand what they are going through, and will say the worst possible thing. You know what? Our listeners are very particular. Once you said 5, if you don't add the other 2, they'll start calling.
Yes, so we have substance use disorder. So substance use is usually a form of soothing behavior, where when people feel that they have not accomplished something in one area, they try to make up for it. So pornography, alcohol, the drugs, they are all self-soothing. It makes people try to escape the reality. You know, so if I'm dealing with something and then I'm on drugs, the highs make me forget at that particular moment. It has an inhibitory effect on your brain. So eventually you feel that, you know, you are okay at that point, you are excited, you know, all my troubles. But then when, you know, you are sober, you realize that you haven't dealt with the problem at all. It is still there.
While we are at it, naturally, like most people, I used to think that when they say substance abuse, is that person with the shirt thrown over, sniffing something. But I found out that people who are bankers, lawyers, political leaders, medical,
are
using substance.
Lawyers.
Speak to that one, because it was a shock when I found out.
Yes, many people are abusing substances, and whatever substance it is. We have weed especially. We have cannabis. Cannabis abuse is the top substances. We have alcohol. We have even prescription drugs, the opioids. People are trying to get out of a certain pain. They are dealing with something, and then somebody will come, take this thing, you know, it will help you. Pethidine. It's pethidine. Addiction is a big deal in the medical sector.
When I come back from this break, I will explore a subject that came fleetingly through this conversation. The fake life. The fake life expectation. I'll stay with this more because why are we pretending? We are going through real issues. We need help. And they say, smile. Pretend I'm not fine. When we come back for this break, I'm going to ask these 2 amazing ladies to help us to overcome that perception that we must match up. Because when we build it up at some point, then we do something that we shouldn't be doing. Let's talk. At least let this first show of the year open up the real hot issues we deal with when no one is looking and no one is asking us to behave ourselves. Let's be real. This is Springboard, your virtual university, the very first explosive edition of our Spring Right series. I think we are getting the vibe well. It's going to be a good one. Don't go away. Let's talk after the break.
Going to the library. going to the library.
Okay. I'm going for my graduation. Go well.
Education changes stories, and being part of these stories is the real passion for us. MTN.
No stress. Submit your insurance claim online in just seconds on the Claims Express portal. Simply upload your national ID, cost estimates, pictures, and more to get started. Submit online, track progress, and get paid fast. Skip the paperwork and get back on the road with ease. Visit claimexpress.enterprisegroup.net.gh for easy claims and quick payouts with absolutely no stress.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Welcome back to Springboard, your virtual university, and to our first Spring Right conversation as we prepare ourselves for a good year 2026. My guest for today, Dr. Sompa Otabil-Nelson, helping us to understand how well we should organize ourselves, especially when we consider our health and our physical well-being. Lynda Dede Ahulu is helping us to understand the psychosocial part, the part that we tend to overlook. She's a mental health champion and advocate, helping us to break it down and helping us realize that there are plenty of things that we take for granted. Before I come back to them, let me pay some props to our sponsors. Springboard, your virtual university, is brought to you by the Springboard Ratio Foundation in partnership with the Enterprise Group, MTN Ghana, and our media partners, the Multimedia Group, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, and the Graphic Communications Group, also on the Springboard channel on YouTube. This program is also in partnership with the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Let me give you some tips from Enterprise, the Enterprise Advantage tip for today. The question is, what is an Enterprise personal pension plan? Just like we are talking about in terms of your health, you also need to plan ahead for your pension at a time when it doesn't look like you are old or you will get old. So the EPP is an individual financial planning tool aimed at helping you achieve all your long-term financial goals, such as education for yourself and for your children, home purchase, mortgages, retirement planning, etc. It gives you the flexibility and opportunity to increase your financial security over time, ensuring a comfortable lifestyle at a most important stage in your life. You want to find out more, call them on 030-263-4704. Email info.trustees@myenterprisegroup.io. Enterprise, your advantage. Let me give some props to a small business or a business that is in the agri-business sector, just to give them some free promo. So today's Unibi Foods that we are talking about for your Ghana-based food brands or a Ghana-based food brand that makes nutritious cereal-based products using locally sourced ingredients. And you want to call them on 025-607-0552. Healthy eating is one of the prescriptions of Dr. Sompa Otabil-Nelson. So get Ghana-based, nutritious, cereal-based products. It is low fat, low carbs, low salt, says Dr. Albert. If it's not, please come and blame me. Dr. Sompa. Sompa, let's come back to our conversation about health, especially I love the preventive part of it. And so let's plan. What are some of the routine checks that everyone should factor into their planning? If nobody's advising them, at least in the back of their minds, what are some of the checks that we should prepare for?
So I would say one of the first things is that make sure that you schedule your annual wellness physical, a preventive physical exam. I know that a lot of times people say, I did my well woman, which basically includes labs. That's it. Labs that were done You get the lab result. No one has explained the lab results to you. You don't know what it means. You don't know if the number is abnormal, what you need to do. You are more than just labs. You need someone that can listen to your heart, listen to your lungs, do a preventive full physical to help to make sure that every single organ in your body is working the way it should be. And if there's a problem, then we can start to address it before anything goes wrong. So getting an annual wellness physical is very important, not just for you, but also for your children. A lot of people don't take their children to the pediatrician for a wellness physical. They wait until, we do it for your weigh-in, and then we are done. But more than a weigh-in, let someone listen to your children. Let someone check them, make sure that everything, don't wait until something goes wrong until you see that. So getting an annual wellness physical is very important. Your labs are very important. Knowing your numbers are very important. We talked a lot about knowing what your blood pressure numbers are, know what your cholesterol numbers are, know what your glucose or your hemoglobin A1C number is, because those are one of the very important health indicators for your health. Get your cancer screening. Get your cancer screening. Get your cancer screening. I think that is one thing that we take for granted. Now, I say this a lot because in Ghana, sub-Saharan women have a higher risk of developing, let's take breast cancer than the average woman in the world. It's said that women in sub-Saharan Africa develop breast cancer 10 years before the average woman, right? So if we start breast cancer screening at 40, which every woman should start getting her mammogram at 40, we have women in Ghana that are getting breast cancer in their 30s, right? So you have to start screening very early. Not even if it's not a mammogram, getting a breast ultrasound. Talk to your doctor. Talk about your concerns. Even if you see your doctor for your physical every year, you get your yearly breast exam, but also breast awareness, doing your self-breast exams at home so that when there's something wrong, you can see your doctor about it. So get your mammogram starting at age 40. Get your cervical cancer screening. Every woman should be getting a pap smear from the age of 21. Most women have never had a pap smear screen ever in their life. When you're 30 and above, you get a pap smear plus screen for HPV, which is the number one virus that causes cervical cancer, the human papilloma virus. And so getting that screen with the pap smear will buy you 5 years for a pap smear every 5 years. The good thing about HPV is that we recently rolled out, Ministry of Health, we just recently rolled out vaccination for young girls. Hopefully they'll push it into young boys as well very soon, as the rest of the world is doing, from age 9 to get HPV vaccination. That doesn't stop you from getting your cervical cancer screening. Now, even in the rest of the world, apart from young girls, young women can also get it. You can get it in your 30s and your 40s as well to get your HPV vaccine. So even if you're not getting the free one, if you talk to your healthcare provider, maybe there's a way that you can get that as well. Colonoscopy for colon cancer screening. Colonoscopies are recommended that you get from the age of 45 and every 10 years, at least up until the age of 75. If it's normal, then you do it every 10 years. So those cancer screenings are very important. Men need to get their prostate screening done, not just a PSA, but also to get a full prostate exam. Women need to get their pelvic exams done because it's not just for cervical cancer screening, but it will also help to check for uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, if there's a mass or something that is wrong. And so making sure that you get comprehensive screen. Don't just go and get labs.
What's the advantage of early screening? I mean, like regular screening?
Because it helps to detect when there's something wrong in the beginning.
Most people will tell you, if I don't know, I'm fine. Once I know, I'll panic.
A lot of the cancer screens that are like colonoscopies, for example, don't only prevent, but they can cure and treat colon cancer. Because if you do a colonoscopy and you see a small mass, you take it out. Once you've taken it out, you've taken out that potential cancer. And so you're cured and you're treated. So why do you wait until the end? Pap smears, check to see if your cells are starting to look abnormal. So even in early stages, when your cervical cells start to look abnormal, we can treat it so that now you don't have advanced cervical cancer. Breast screening, when there's a small mass, treatment is easier. Surgery is easier. They can just take the lump instead of taking your entire breast. Sometimes you may even just need radiation instead of needing a full chemotherapy. But then detecting at an early stage helps to improve your life. Sometimes we wait until the end because we think it's a death. Cancer is not a death sentence. If it can be caught very early, most of the time it's not. And you have so many survivors, but we wait. And I think that even sometimes, so I did some research, and they said the average time it takes for a Ghanaian woman to notice symptoms for cervical cancer up until she sees her doctor is 8 months, 8 to 12 months. It takes a whole year because we see it and we are scared, or we don't have time, or maybe just a little bleeding, it's nothing. Then you wait, oh, it's hurting. Oh, you know, women will go through things, but you don't see a doctor, you don't check, you don't figure it out. And also because maybe you also don't have a primary care doctor. So you don't have someone that knows you, that knows what your baseline is and knows what's abnormal, or is proactive in trying to get your health in check.
Talking about baseline, I had a conversation with my physician the last time. And I said, oh, in 2019 was this, 2022 was this. And I just, on my phone, and we're just talking numbers. Okay, so there's been no growth. Okay, it was just a normal conversation. And funnily enough, as we talked, then we pulled out AI and did it was a funky medical. Can we have funky medicals so that it doesn't become like a very mundane, morose?
It's not. It shouldn't be that way, you know. And that's why I think that also finding the right physician is very important.
We're laughing. I'm sure people are said, are they serious? How can they be laughing in the consulting room?
You don't always have to be so serious.
No. And I was like, oh, that's not bad. I wouldn't mind coming again.
Yeah.
You know, we can make it funky.
Right provider, finding the right psychologist, or finding the right primary care physician. It's like finding a partner for a relationship, because this is someone that you trust your health with. And you have to find someone that you can be vulnerable, someone that you feel like listens to you, that advocates for you, that fights for you, and that's in your corner.
And the consistency helps.
And the consistency.
So the same person says, last year you had this, how is it now? You say, oh, no, it's fine.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that person tracks your. So I have a patient who we diagnosed with prostate cancer, not because his PSA was abnormal, but because the rate of rise of his PSA was increasing, because we have a baseline and we could check and see it's still in the normal range, but we are going up. And so we could detect it very, very early and found that he had very early where he could be treated. So you have to have somebody that knows you.
It's not like hitting around. You're here today, there tomorrow.
Exactly.
Shopping.
It's like last year you didn't have a murmur in your heart, and now I hear a murmur.
Okay.
Last week when I felt, you didn't have this last year, but now I feel this. If you don't have someone that does that, how do you get your health in check?
Super. You made a great point there. I feel like clapping for you. Man. Clap. Later, let me come. You guys are fantastic. I mean, you are making medicine very funky.
Thank you.
So let me come to you. You know what? You owe. And when you owe, you must pay. You said you were going to give 5 things. Let me go back to your...
Yeah.
So you said 5 things that people walking and you're like, they're looking fine. Very, very... Them, their makeup, everything looking very nice. But one was adjustment. Yeah. That is loss of relationships, work issues, things they can't handle. Then you talked about depression, and you said the person doesn't need to be very morose, poorly dressed. They can be very fine. They can even be joyous, and that it still matter. 3 was broken heart. Yeah. 4 was substance abuse. Yeah. You forgot to mention the 5th one.
Yes. So the 5th one is 2 in 1. I want to make sure that I don't leave out the extremes. So let me talk first about psychosis, which is the schizophrenia that we know. So when we typically talk about somebody that's suffering from a mental health condition, what the society thinks and why there's so much stigmatization. People believe that when we talk about mental health, we are looking at the man in the street who is eating from the gutter and all of that. That's schizophrenia. It comes with sometimes hallucinations, delusions, bizarre behavior, among others. And in those cases, it's better managed with medications. So we have psychoactive medications that we give them. There's also bipolar, which is also very common. We have the extremes of mania and depression, where a person can be very, all over the place one moment, the next moment they are very, sad, and that's dynamic, right? So the 5th one now is anxiety. So a lot of people do come in with anxiety disorders. Anxiety where we are looking at apprehension or fear. Now,
What are the
whenever
top 3 fears?
fear of the unknown.
Okay.
Yes, people fear of the unknown. They are not certain. Maybe they have, and I wanted to talk about that when we come to expectations for this year. So
Talk
maybe
about
I would leave that.
No.
We should talk about it
Yes.
now. So unrealistic expectations, right? So because the new year has started, if you look at people's new year resolutions, very unrealistic things that they want to accomplish. Your expectations should look at your circumstances, your resources, and the time. It has to be very realistic. If not, you end up not accomplishing them and then feeling anxious about the fact that you have not accomplished them. So you begin to have these heart palpitations. You are very tensed. You are irritable, among others. And these are typical signs of anxiety. Now, as soon as the body feels threatened, and when we talk about anxiety, as soon as the body feels threatened in any way due to demand, pressure, or anything that the body finds as a threat, it will respond. So we have the stress response, where a person may want to the flight or the fight. So we need to either run away, and now we've learned that it's not even just the two. There are people who will freeze. There are people who will run. There are people who are looking for something to, for example, the typical snake example that we usually give. There are some people who will freeze when they see the snake. They will freeze. There are some people who will collapse. That's called flopping. There are people who try to pacify the, oh, please, in those instances. And it's not even just with this typical example. Sometimes when you feel threatened by your boss, there are some people who will fawn in the workplace. They begin to people please. They begin to bootleg so that they can associate with the boss, so that, or the person in higher authority, so that they don't feel threatened. Also, sometimes the person may fly the flight. You have to find a way to escape. Our inability to do these like primitive instincts, these are very primitive instincts. So the body will always take the score. The body will always take the score. And there are many psychological conditions that have physical underpinnings and physical conditions that have psychological underpinnings.
That's my learning for today.
Yes. Very, very.
The person can look physically unwell, but the issue is psychological.
Yeah.
The person can report
physical conditions like my back, I'm feeling pain, and sometimes you realize that their heart is beating so fast, and sometimes it's because they are so worried about their examination. They are worried about the next relationship. The first relationship broke. Somebody has shown interest in them. Immediately, the brain will start, ruminating over the last relationship. What happened? What if? Yeah. What if this happens? And that can also feel like a threat to the body. The body will have to deal with that.
Let's take a minute to talk about coping mechanisms. I know it's unfair to say a minute, but as we wrap up the show, let's talk about
coping mechanisms. Yes, coping mechanisms are the ways in which we are able to deal with the situations in our lives. So first coping mechanism that we'll look at is, for example, because we are starting a new year, set realistic expectations so that you don't have to feel strained about not being able to accomplish it.
But you are comparing yourself to other people. Isn't it another matter?
Yes.
The person is driving. When will I get there?
Like I said, look at the circumstances surrounding your life. Look at the resources. Look at the time. Look at very realistic. When it comes to you, you realize that you are not the other person. The circumstances, the resources they have, the time they have, the things that are happening in their lives, it's not the same as you. So the more you compare yourself, the more you put pressure on yourself, the more the body feels threatened, the more you are always stressed. Now, there's another test that I also think that psychologically we should do. That's the cortisol test. Cortisol levels rise when we are stressed. And that's when the body perceives that there's something harmful. It has to perceive something harmful. When cortisol levels rise in the body, it does so much to a person physically. And she has mentioned them. So checking cortisol levels sometimes also helps practitioners to know that, this person is dealing with something that is stressful. Let's look at that. And it could
Set,
be
so set realistic expectations.
realistic
2,
expectations.
check your cortisol levels.
Yes, that one is important. Know what is happening with your stress, your situation with stress.
Just on the same coping, can loneliness exacerbate the stress levels?
Yes, we are social beings. We live in a society with people. And apart from that fact, we are born into families, we have friends, we are interactive. You cannot live in a society where you are just alone. Once you begin to feel alone, then there are a lot of things that you are not able to do. Now, it's not just feeling alone. Sometimes there's also withdrawal. People withdraw from society. Sometimes because they are dealing with something, they don't think that they can get help. Sometimes they are hiding something that has happened to them. There are some people, as soon as they get to the hospital, they tell them that, you know what, this is what we have found. Immediately, they become so anxious, they withdraw. Because they might not even, there are many people who don't even show up again after they've had their affairs. As soon as they mention that, okay, let's do this, I think I'm seeing this. The fear alone. And many people have not been able to do certain things because of fear. Fear alone is crippling. It can hold you so hard. It's difficult.
There you go, just like somebody I hold you so hard.
Yes. So fear is very crippling. And fear, together with anxiety, the stressful situations that are happening in our lives can make us sick. So sometimes, like we have been saying, you are sick not because of the fact that, yes, you are not doing all the things that you need to, but sometimes you are sick because you are over-ruminating. You are over-processing information. You are comparing yourself to others.
Find a nice church where you have good company and good words.
Yes.
That will help you.
That helps.
So,
yes, that helps.
Add that one. I'm a pastor, so add that one.
The communion of saints.
It is proven. It is proven. And they will tell you be anxious for nothing. You will not be anxious.
That is also religious coping.
Yes, you should add it because I'm a pastor.
Religious coping is where a person surrenders their will to something that is higher than them. The same way you surrender your will to your doctor. You go to the hospital and your doctor tells you, because you know that your doctor is knowledgeable. So telling them you're going to get help. Now, our perception of somebody who is mightier than us, a supreme being who knows everything, who created everything, and surrendering our will to them helps us to be able to relax, to feel that we don't have to handle or we don't have to deal with everything.
And it's actually scriptural.
Yes.
And you will be fine.
Yes.
In fact, you'll be fine this year. I'm telling you. It's important, you'll be fine. You know what? Let me just give you a minute to give your closing thoughts on this. I know I could stay with you folks the whole day because I'm enjoying. I like the company. I like the honesty. And really, what I like that we have done is to tell people it's okay to ask for help.
Not be okay.
Yes, and it's okay to just acknowledge that things are not well.
Yeah.
There's nothing shameful about it. So tell our listeners something to help them start the year right from where you sit.
So I just want to tell you to pay attention to your health. Be very proactive about your health. Find a doctor that is interested in you and interested in helping to improve your health and take it to where you want to be. And plan for your health as much as you plan for anything else for this year.
I like that. Sompa Otabil-Nelson is a family medicine specialist from Diana Gale Medical Center at Achimota Goldfield. She's telling you, listen, have a plan, and then find a relationship, not just the other one, but find a relationship with a doctor who knows you and who knows how big your head was last year, so that when you come back this year, they can tell you, listen, the circumference has gone up by 1 inch. What have you been doing? If not, it's like hit and run. You go here today, go there tomorrow. Nobody knows your issue, so nobody can help you. But that's really solid. I love that. Let me come to you, Lynda, to take us home with your thoughts.
I will say that congratulations to all of us for making it to 2026. It's a big achievement. And because of that, let's prioritize our health, our mental health, our social health, our physical health, especially. And you are not truly healthy until you are healthy in all these dimensions. Also, set realistic expectations for yourself. it does not mean don't dream big, but it means that dreaming big comes with so many consequences that you should be prepared to be able to deal with or otherwise. So set realistic expectations. If there's something that you want to achieve, plan it. Just like we are saying that you're planning your medical health, you're also planning your life so that you have a blueprint to follow. And it helps you to feel like you've accomplished something, and then you are not in despair at the end of the day.
And just so I don't get left out from the pastoral desk, 3 John verse 2. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. And the church said, Amen.
Amen.
I think you've done the right thing.
Yeah.
To prioritize our health before you start making money. You make plenty money this year, but let's get the health right so that you will live long enough to chop the money. And reflect on these ideas. Re-listen to this broadcast. Share it with somebody who's making money, but you care about them, so they also give attention to their health. Share again. And let's have those conversations that we try to avoid in the hope that they will sometimes or somehow disappear when the reality is staring at us right in the face that there are issues. Get help. Don't feel ashamed that you ask for help. Talk to the right person. Talk to your family health specialist. Talk to your clinical psychologist. When you have wonderful people like this in the consulting room, you will just go there again and again because you feel very much at home when you talk to them. And that is how they are in their consulting room. They will help you, hold your hand, and help you to become better so you can live long and enjoy the blessing of the Lord. My name is Albert. On behalf of the Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Enterprise Group, NTN Ghana, the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard, on behalf of our media partners, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the Graphic Communications Group, and then, of course, the Springboard channel on YouTube, I wish you a happy new year. And I want to say a big thank you to Sompa and Lynda for starting us on a beautiful note. Let's put our hands together for them. So it's all of us here in the studio saying, God bless you, and God bless you.
Turn around. Turning point. Yeah.